Hello everyone, what's going on? My name's Poppin, and today I'm not doing a Let's Play video or a rant or a movie review, but instead today I'm doing something that's new. I'm going to do a ranking video. So for today's video, I'm going to rank all 5 of the Troma movies I have in my collection. So all of you really want me to do a ranking video on all 5 of the Troma movies I have, like the Toxic Avenger 1 through 4 and Terra Firmer. And I'm happy to oblige. So let's begin. So taking the 5th spot is It Evenly a Contest? The Last Temptation of Toxie. Now, off the bat, The Last Temptation of Toxie was the so-called finale of the original Toxic Avenger trilogy. I mean, just came out in a 5-year gap after the original, so hard to believe that this movie, or the second film, came out the same year, that being 1989. Now, there are some good sides, like Toxie going through. Now, there are some hard sides, like Toxie going through life, trying to fit in like a normal human, well, like his past self, Melvin Junko, the scrawny janitor who was bullied. But, believe it or not, Toxie made a dumb decision to join the enemy team, that being Apocalypse Incorporation, led by Mr. Chairman, who was later revealed to be the devil. But unlike the devil, who was red, this version of the devil is green. So, yeah. So, pretty much when it came time, when Toxie came out of retirement, he actually surprisingly stopped a bunch of criminals from robbing a video store. I mean, the font even referenced the font from the store window even referenced Indiana Jones. And some posters have a lot of nods to a lot of Troma's other movies, like Bloodhook and Zombie Island Massacre. Although those would be fun movies to add to my collection someday. But still, when Toxie came out of retirement, he's back. And also his girlfriend Claire can see again. And also, the fight against the devil really played out in style of a video game. So when Devil got into an upper hand, he reverted Toxie back to Melvin, and Claire was rendered blind. But they were both restored later by God. However, Toxie defeated the devil and sent his head flying from Tromaville to Japan, where the news guy sprayed a hair product on the bald man. And also, the movie ended well with Toxie and Claire being married as monster and wife. I gotta say, the ending is actually kind of sweet. It's kind of lovely, because not only that ending actually fitting, but I actually see the ending as like a finale to the 1980s. What a perfect ending to that. And we all know what happened in the mid-90s before 1996. Horror faded away. But I'm not saying that this is actually a good way to end the 1980s on a good note. So I would rank Toxic Avenger Part 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie, I would rank this a C. A C+, actually. I mean, did okay, so I'm not going to lie or argue. Okay, next up is, seriously, Toxic Avenger Part 2. Okay, so this is the other film that came out in 1989 with The Last Temptation of Toxie. So pretty much, Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hurst had a big budget this time. So rather than sticking with Tromaville, they decided to venture further to Tokyo. So yeah, this would be Troma's first time filming in a different country. Kind of like with all the big-name Hollywood companies like Warner Brothers, Universal, Disney, you name it. So Troma actually went out well with this one. So Toxie came back just in time to conclude the A's with both parts 2 and 3. And Toxie actually went on this crazy hunt to look for his long-lost father, Big Mac Junko. But turns out the man he fought was not him. Instead, it was a Yakuza leader called Big Mac Bunko, not Junko. Big Mac Bunko is also a sumo wrestler, so what a shock for that. So Big Mac Bunko is a secondary villain. It kind of reminds me of the others, like John Milton from Scream 3, Corey Cunningham from Halloween Ends, even Sepp Hindle from Saw. No, Mohawk / Spider Gremlin from Gremlins 2. So overall, Toxic Avenger 2 ended with a crazy chase. So, a chase throughout Tromaville. And it kind of reminds me of that chasing from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The movie ends with a big surprise. Toxie's real father, Big Mac Junko, returns to Tromaville. But it's kind of sad that he did not return in the third film. I mean, what happened? Overall, I would not say that Toxic Avenger Part 2 is a pretty okay film. Well, sequel. But if I had to rank it, I would have to give it a B. So yeah, just a B. Okay. Moving on. Citizen Toxie. Okay, so this is a recent film I got last night. I watched it for the first time and it's actually quite good. Overall, there was some surprising stuff. Like, the narrator happens to be Marvel legend Stan Lee. I mean, Stan Lee doing a Troma movie? Holy crap, I'm surprised by that, given that he did all the cameos in every Marvel movie made, up until his last one in Avengers Endgame. Citizen Toxie is a so-called direct sequel, despite the fact that this is the fourth film, hence the Roman numeral. So this pretty much ignores parts 2 and 3 and making this a direct sequel. So are we going to ignore the Apocalypse Inc., Big Mac Bunko, and Mr. Chairman / Devil? Like, what's going on? I mean, I like the fact that they introduced, like, alternate dimensions. Hell, they even got James Gunn in a frickin' cameo as a Stephen Hawking parody called Dr. Flem Hawking. So, props to you, Mr. Gunn. You actually did well. Well, prior to you writing that 2002 Scooby-Doo film, directing Slither, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, and 3, and of course, producing the Belko Experiment and Brightburn. So, props to James Gunn for making that funny cameo. And also all the other characters appear in the film, like Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. Now, there is a movie called that, but it's not horror, but it's great. Check it out. However, they actually reused a scene from the movie. That being that car stunt scene. You know, the car crashed, flipped, and boom. And also, at the end, when Toxie fought against all of Noxie's enemies, Noxie's allies, yes, the movie's villain is Noxie, also known as the Noxious Offender. Like, yikes. So he's kind of like Toxie, except he's got hair. And he's a killer. Dang. Here I thought Jason Voorhees was more intimidating. But still, Noxie's pretty much more menacing. So, yeah. Although the hospital hallway fight scene, it would easily give that stairway scene from the first Purge a run for its money. But the amazing best part of it all, they frickin' parodied Star Wars. Toxie and Noxie clashing their mops like lightsabers. Pew, pew. And Noxie really pulled a Darth Maul on that one. So I would give the Citizen Toxie an A. I mean, it's good. I'm not going to lie. Okay, down to the last two. Next up is Terra Firmer. Alright, the first time that this is not a Toxic Avenger movie. But instead, it's a fun one-off movie. Now, this is the last one by Troma in the 1990s and the 20th century as a whole, because back then we were all entering the 21st century. So what is Terra Firmer, you may ask? Terra Firmer is a slasher film. It was a craziest film essayed by James Rolfe, aka the angry video game nerd. So Terra Firmer has a lot of surprising stuff. I mean, not only was it directed by Lloyd Kaufman, but he also plays the role of a blind director. So I always laugh at that. Also, they reused the same scene from Sergeant Kabuki Man, the car stunt scene, which happens to be in Citizen Toxie. What a surprise. And also, not only Lloyd Kaufman, but we also got some surprising roles or cameos from other celebrities, like Eli Roth. Roth would also later go on to direct the Cabin Fever franchise and directed the first two installments of the Hostel trilogy. If you want me to do a ranking video on all three installments of the Hostel trilogy, let me know. So, not only that, but we also got an uncredited cameo from the creators of South Park, Matt Stone and Trey Parker. I mean, I find this to be quite a surprise because both this movie and South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut came out the same year, 1999, same year as yours truly existed. Although Terra Firmer is a fun slasher, and this is actually one of my favorites to come out in one of my favorite eras of horror movies, the Scream era. So, if you want me to do a video where I explain about what is the Scream era, let me know with that in the comments below. Overall, Terror is not a bad movie. It's actually a great movie. Although the tagline says, "Let's make some art." I wonder if that's unintentional for the birth term of so-called elevated horror. Looking at you, Get Out, and Us, and oh, you too, Mandy. But still, Terror is a fun slasher and one of the best movies of 1999. Well, alongside the Blair Witch Project and The Mummy by Steven Sommers. So I would give Terror another A. Okay, now we go to the last film. The Toxic Avenger. The original that started it all. Well, the Toxic Avenger franchise. Now, this movie is an absolute gem from 1984. Surprisingly, this came out in the final year of the golden era of slashers. The golden years of slashers. That being 1984. The movie is a pretty good damn impression. I mean, it tells the story of Melvin Junko, aka the Toxic Avenger / Toxie, and how he was bullied for being a 90-pound weakling, being a janitor at the Troma Movies Health Club, putting on a pink tutu, and having a crazy accident with toxic waste. I mean, this is amazing. I mean, there were some funny elements like an overweight woman in an aerobics class, the mayor of Tromaville eating a sub sandwich while getting a massage. Now, that's why I call it an executive workout. But still, this is actually a fun movie. Also, there were some major plot points, like Toxie's girlfriend, Sarah. Although, in Toxic Avenger 2 and 3, she was called Claire. But it says in Toxie, she was called Sarah again. So, what's going on? So, couldn't it be possible that Sarah's middle name is Claire? that could be making more sense. Sarah Claire. So yeah, Sarah Claire Junko. That I would say. Overall, The Toxic Avenger is an amazing film from 1984, and it's up there in my favorites. Well, next to like Gremlins and A Nightmare on Elm Street. But still, this is by far an amazing treasure from 1984. I'm happy I got to enjoy it. I'm just happy I got this on my 24th birthday. So, best birthday gift I ever got. So, I would give The Toxic Avenger A+. Bravo, Lloyd Kaufman, for making such a great treasure from the 1980s. Okay, guys, so this pretty much wraps up my ranking video on all 5 Troma movies I have. The Toxic Avenger Quadrilogy and Terror Firmer. I might be able to look forward to doing like more of these types. I might be able to do like more these ranking videos someday in the future. Like, let's say I want to do like one on like all the full moon movies. Like, let's say I want to do like one on all the Friday the 13th movies, or Jeepers Creepers, or Halloween, or Saw. So let me know which horror movie within the collection you want me to rank on next. Like, do you want me to do a ranking video on all the Saw movies, or Leprechaun, or maybe Hellraiser? Well, namely the first 8 movies. Or perhaps the entire Urban Legend trilogy, or Friday the 13th. Let me know of your ideas below, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, everyone. Stay poppin', stay safe, and take care out there. And also, stay poppin'. And also, see y'all next time. And goodbye from Tromaville. Peace. Cool.